So I'm just walking down to Metropolis Studios and Slate Fest 2017. Let's have some fun. Hello and welcome to my review of the very first Slate Fest 2017. So what is Slate Fest? Slate Fest is hosted by the Slate companies and is an annual Slate Fest Europe event for users to hear and see demonstrations of everything Slate. There are also recording clinics from top industry pros, masterclasses, production courses, and networking opportunities. If you're a Slate user, then you'll likely have seen on Facebook that Stephen Slate, his crew of merry men and women, and the great guys at SX Pro were throwing this event for free. Yes, you heard me right. Free! So, in brief, if you don't have time to watch the whole video, this event was at Metropolis Studios in London, which I've used a lot for my work as a composer, so I know the place well. Streaky is my choice of mastering engineer, if you're interested. He's awesome. Check him out and say Darren the Disney guy sent you. So now hiring the studio for mastering isn't cheap, but Slate hired out the bar, 2 recording studios, a catering crew to feed us all with lovingly made English cucumber sandwiches, something of a revelation to Mr. Slate. As Stephen said at the start of the day, he wanted to try something new. Trade shows are great, but there's limited time to really connect with your customers. And he therefore wanted something where he could not just promote his ingenious products, but would be able to interact with us and, more importantly, encourage a community of like-minded musicians, producers, mixers, whatever, all happy under one Slate roof. Okay, sorry, bad joke. So the event started at 9 a.m. in the bar, and by 10 we were filing into the live room of Studio 2 in a very polite English orderly fashion. Stephen kicked the day's proceedings off with his welcome and introduction. It was as if a godlike hero of the tech world had entered our presence as he skillfully entertained us whilst giving us a first look at some super cool secret products. There was one product in particular that caught my attention. The VR S8 and ML1 and 2 mics, demoed with a clean signal path, no colouring from other preamps, and using just the virtual mic software resulted in a seriously awesome sound. Okay, we were in a great room listening on massive PMCs, but this product was seriously good, and I could really hear a difference in sound, particularly for me when demoed and A-B'd on drums. It's rare I'm truly impressed. Let's face it, we live in a digital age with literally thousands of products emulating, well, just about everything, apart from cucumber sandwiches. If you record live musicians or vocals, you should seriously be looking at these products. Aside product demos, one thing that really came across during the day was it definitely did not feel like a sales pitch. Stephen really made you feel that he genuinely wanted you to have a good experience and appeared to be as keen to learn from the masterclasses as much as we were. He sat with us and talked not just about his products, but production and geeky stuff in general too. The day consisted of 3 masterclasses. Kicking off was D. Ramirez, who set out to produce a whole track. He only got as far as programming drums and bass. He did say, though, it was a tall order to get a whole track done. Didn't matter, though. He was generous in demonstrating his process, talked about his gear, showed us his trusted techniques, and demoed his working process using the Raven. Second up was mix engineer and grime aficionado MSM, who's mixed the likes of Drake, Professor Green, and Ed Sheeran, to name just a few. This class, I'll be honest, was quite hard to follow. I just don't think they were used to demoing and didn't connect with the audience quite as much. There were a few that left the room to hang out in the bar, probably trying to convince Mr. Slate to try cucumber sandwiches. Last up was the headline slot with Rick Simpson, and he delivered a Glastonbury-sized Coldplay-esque performance. Rick Simpson, longtime producer of Coldplay, recorded the band Some Velvet Morning live in Studio One. They're a great band and you should definitely go check them out if you're into rock and indie music. He demonstrated mic placement, engineering tips on how to work with the artist, showed us his Slate digital chains, settings, and more. I think I might have been one of only a few in the room scribbling them down. Amazingly, we were given the opportunity to record in Studio One, singing and clapping on the track, directed by Rick himself and the band. So I can now say I've been produced by Rick Simpson. Kind of. So, was the first Slate Fest any good? Was it worth it for the guy that flew all the way from Australia? Did I learn anything? Was I convinced to buy anything new? And did Slate Fest make me feel like I was part of a community of musicians and like-minded producers? Was it worth the sum total of £0? Well, of course, the answer to all of the above, and I'm sure I speak for everyone, especially the guy from Australia and the guy that won a Raven, was a resounding Stephen showed generosity, kindness, and heart, and I use those words because there's very, very few companies out there that sell products to their customers with a genuine interest in connecting with their users. The Stephen Slate brand achieves that above all others. For that alone, you should buy their stuff. I don't need to talk about the plugins. We know they're good. I may not use all of what he and his team offers, but the Pied Piper that is Stephen Slate has certainly convinced me that I should. So Stephen, thanks, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all that was there. We salute you with cucumber sandwiches. Tasty.